Okay, up to the Yomi. Let's do 319. 61, Halacha 61. One may go on Chol Hamoed trips. Yeah, everybody likes to go on Chol Hamoed trips with the family. However, one should try not to travel too far and spend too much time in his outing, since studying Torah should be one's main focus on Chol Hamoed. Yeah, if a person can, sometimes you need a vacation from your vacation. You drove so much, you did so much, all day you were with the kids. You shouldn't break yourself like that on Chol Hamoed. Take them somewhere, but not overdo it. 62. One may drive to any destination, even though one could easily walk there. 63. Unless it's necessary, one should not take driving lessons on Chol Hamoed. 64. One may not bring a car to a mechanic on Chol Hamoed if one needs something professionally fixed, even though you need your car to buy food for the holiday. However, it's permissible to fix parts of one's car without professional help, like to call, to change your tire, like any person with two working hands can change a tire. Furthermore, if one does not have any other mode of transportation and it's necessary for the Moed, then he may have his car fixed professionally. So better not to.
What does that mean? You can't. If I need food for the Moed, it says I can.
Right.
But it says for the Moed, you can't. What does that mean?
It means if one does not have any other mode of transportation. There's no bus, no one that could pick you up, no one could drive you. You have no other way possible. You're gonna miss out the entire holiday. Then you can't fix. You could fix your car. But if you have another another way to get around, you could borrow someone's car. You could have someone pick you up. You could have Instacart. So then it's not considered that you really need it. Yeah, you need it, but it's you can convenience yourself a little bit, but you don't really need it. So then you wouldn't be able to fix your car. Okay. Davar Haaved. Financial loss, right? We're not allowed to work on Chol Hamoed, but if financial losses, you're allowed to work on Chol Hamoed, right? 67. Work that is permitted to be done because of the principle of Davar Haaved should be preferably not be done publicly. Okay, so even if you're allowed to work because of financial loss, it shouldn't be publicly done. It should be that your office is like, we're not open officially, but we're open because we have fires to put out, right? Yeah. Emergency only, exactly. 68. One who may lose his job if he does not work on Chol Hamoed may go to work. However, if one is allotted a certain number of vacation days, one should take his vacation days on the holidays and Chol Hamoed if he can. One does not have to reject the job offer throughout the year if he knows that his job will require him to work on Chol Hamoed. Okay, interesting. 69. If one owns a business and legally must pay his workers' wages, even if the business is closed, he may keep his business open over Chol Hamoed. However, he should try to conduct his business discreetly. Right? Let's say he's not allowed legally, they're a union or something. Like he's not allowed to send them home or not work on random legal holidays. It's not a legal holiday. It's a regular day. They're obligated to work or at least get paid for work. I can't just send them home and tell them, "Oh, too bad I'm closed." How are they gonna and I don't pay them for it? How are they gonna pay their rent because they're missing a lot of money they usually get? Therefore, because legally I'm obligated to pay them, I'm allowed to have them work also. Why should I pay them and they can keep them home? If they're going to have to pay them, I'm also allowed to have them work. 70. One may not perform Melacha on Chol Hamoed if one will sustain a loss of new profit. Therefore, if one will incur a loss of wages for the days he will not go to work on Chol Hamoed, Melacha is still forbidden as it's considered a loss of new profit. So let's say I'm a worker, and if I don't go to work on Chol Hamoed, I'm going to lose all those days of wages because I would have worked 8 hours all those days, 9 hours all those days. That's not considered financial loss. That's considered a loss of profit, and I'm not allowed to do it. 71. If a loss could have been avoided by performing the necessary melacha before the holiday, and one intentionally left the work to be done over the holiday, it may not be performed. 72.
So you can't.
Yeah, go ahead.
Profit.
You can't be working on Chol Hamoed just to gain new profit, right? Only if you're going to lose principal, meaning something you already have.
And what if it's like a residual thing where I'm not doing anything, but the profit is kept rolling in?
Right.
Like, is that okay? Meaning I'm profiting, but I'm not.
Let's say you have customer. Let's say you do wholesale, right? And you have people who bought from you material, bought you for merchandise. And if you open the Chol Hamoed, so they're going to call you and they're going to pay you. Right? They're going to pay their orders that they owe you. And if you're not open, so they're not going to pay you your order. Maybe they'll pay your order next week, the week after, but you could have got that money right now, right? So that's not considered a loss. That's considered a loss. That's considered a loss of profit for that week, right? You're only going to get it. You're going to get it later. If there's a concern that they're not going to pay you at all if you're not open this week, then that could be then that could be something else, because that means you lost the merchandise also, because the
What
merchandise.
about in cases where I'm not open? Forget about open. Meaning, let's say the stock market type of thing, where it's residual income. I put my money somewhere and it's profiting. Can that profit for me?
Oh yeah, that's for sure. The question is, are you allowed to do actions to bring that profit on Chol Hamoed? That we're saying you can't.
So now, what if I'm not doing any actions? I just have my workers.
Oh well, that's still you being involved with your business. That's still.
I'm not doing anything.
No, you told them to come in. You told them to come in.
No, they want to work. They don't want to lose hours. They want to work.
So are they going?
Go ahead.
The permission for you to keep your business open and allow them to come in, that's considered your involvement. That's considered your involvement. At the end of the day, you open and you close, you're going to have to check in, you're going to have to still be involved once they're at work. So that still is prohibited on your end. That's still prohibited on your end. If it's a fully autonomous, I have to see. But it's not. The problem is you working. That you're still going to be involved. Look at this one, 72. If one will lose customers by closing his store on Chol Hamoed, he may keep it open. 73. One may perform melacha to prevent a personal loss and another Jewish person's loss. Unlike melacha performed for the needs of the moed, this melacha may be performed even for payment. So let's say even it's not your loss; it's going to cause another Jew loss. That's also permission to do melacha. 74. It is permitted to write one's hours of learning and take part in a Bein Hazmanim program that pays people during Chol Hamoed. Rabbi Moshe. So that's for a mitzvah, so that's why it's allowed. But for business, going to work, everyone says going to work is a mitzvah. No, it's providing for my family, Rabbi. So none is so simple. It's not so simple that going to work is a mitzvah. Going to work is actually a curse. It's actually a curse. Is it a mitzvah to provide for your family? Yeah, you have to fulfill your obligation, but it's not necessarily a mitzvah. You have a financial obligation to your wife. You sign a ketubah, and you said you're going to work for her and you provide for her. You're feeding, you're giving tzedakah, I guess, but it's not really tzedakah because you owe it. It's like a debt you owe. You're paying your debts by going to work. You're paying your wife that you owed her. You told her you're going to work for her. So and for the family. So not necessarily is it ordained mitzvah from Hashem. It's a personal obligation you incurred on yourself and you're fulfilling it now. So it's not necessarily considered a mitzvah.
How come kolos are closed during Chol Hamoed?
Because they need to have some time off. They never have time off.
Right, but technically they're supposed to keep going.
If possible, yeah. But they need some time off, yeah. During the summer, they don't get off. Everyone gets off in the summer. The schools get off in the summer. Chol doesn't get off. It continues. They go all the way till Tisha B'Av. And then there's only like 2-3 weeks till they get off till Elul.
The logic there doesn't really make sense, because if it's more important to learn a Chol Hamoed, right?
That's true.
We're all supposed to learn more Chol Hamoed, so they should stick it through, especially since they're allowed to earn.
So when are they going to get their vacation? It's a different time.
Take it when they're going to take a vacation.
Uh-huh.
In the summer.
I hear you. Okay, let's do the last one. Buying and selling. 75. Chachamim prohibited commerce on Chol Hamoed, even when it entails only buying and selling without any actual melacha. They did this because it involves physical exertion or mental stress, which detracts from the Chol Hamoed's festive atmosphere. However, even small and simple transactions and other melachot that do not involve exertion are also included in this prohibition. Commerce is permitted when necessary to prevent financial loss. When engaging in commerce to avoid a loss, any melacha necessary for the selling process is permitted, but should be done discreetly. Okay, we'll continue this next time. Baruch Adonai Olam.